Video Journal, Day 10. Over the last 19 years, I've been working in the health and fitness industry. So obviously, I've seen a lot, worked with a lot of different clients. So today, I wanted to talk about bad habits, especially. Now, people generally can recognize when they have a bad habit, and a lot of times they would like to get rid of it. So the first step, I believe, comes from desire and then your ability to recognize what it is, and not just from a surface level, but from a deeper level. The next step, and this is one thing that I've coached people, is most of your bad habits usually stem from two things, either boredom or stress. So when you want to change a habit and live a little bit better without it, the first thing is instead of just trying to say, "Hey, I'm going to quit that habit 100% and I'm just going to stop it immediately," you need to find something that you can do that will replace that habit. So it gives you something instead of that habit to have. So let's say you had a hard day at work and your first thought, come home and pour yourself a stiff drink. But you know that having that stiff drink doesn't allow you to sleep as well. You don't lose weight if that's part of your goal. Maybe you don't feel as well, and it's just something that you would like to change because you see that, hey, maybe having that much alcohol is a bad habit. So your next step is to say, what are some things that I could do to help eliminate that stress in order for myself to feel a lot better without having that alcohol? So perhaps you take a nice hot shower and listen to relaxing music, or perhaps you meditate, or perhaps you do a little bit of stretching, or perhaps you cook yourself a nice meal. I mean, there's so many different ways that you could approach this. A couple of the other things is if you're looking to break a bad habit and you have someone else who's wanting to break that same bad habit, you could link up with that person. And not to say that you would in the future want to dump your friends that you have, but you do want to try to surround yourself with people who live the way that you live and do the things that you do. So if all your friends like to go get roasted over the weekend and that's something that you're choosing that you don't want to do anymore, then that may be something that you don't do. And you start to begin developing relationships with people that do. Uh, because essentially, you're just you're returning to your old you. The new you is the bad habit. The old you is who you are really. So sometimes there can be negative self-talk I've heard with people. And so what I found is there's a word, well, not a word, well, it is a word, is but. Now, but is considered what's called a conversation negator. So anything that you say up into the word but gets negated, and then what you say after is what you truly have the intent for. So let's say, for example, you want to get in shape, and you say, "Oh, it's never going to happen for me, but I know if I can just get myself out the door, I can begin making progress in the right direction." There you go. Uh, the next thing is don't always be so hard on yourself if you fall off a little bit. One thing that differentiates top performers from other people is their ability to get back on the bandwagon as quickly as possible and to continue moving forward and not let it completely derail them for long periods of time where they just get a case of the fuckets and then they don't care anymore. So, on that note, let's break some bad habits. You know, probably don't have any. Anyway, have a good evening.